What is going on, guys? We are back again. In case you missed the last one, I'm Justin.
And I am Corey. And today we are covering the questions that you guys had about DIY projects. If you haven't watched the first installment, then make sure you do so you know what's going on. I will leave that linked below in the description box.
So, I guess, yeah, hop right back into it. Where did we leave off? First one is... Do you have a preference on what pieces of clothing you DIY? Are some things easier to work on, or are they all relatively the same? Good question. Probably the easiest place to start would be like a denim vest. They're easy to sew on because the whole thing opens up. You can reach both sides of it. Easy to stud because you can just push the studs through. You don't have to poke the holes. Vests are definitely the easiest. Leather jackets always look the best in my opinion, but studding the sleeves and sewing on the sleeves can be a pretty big challenge. So I would practice somewhere else before you attempt that. Most people I know just paint on the sleeves because it's just way easier. But I would recommend starting with pants and denim vest and go from there as your confidence builds.
We tend to work on jackets a lot because we don't really have an option. We can't wear vests all through the year like most people
Yeah.
do. So we tend to gravitate towards jackets more often just because we can get away with wearing them all the time.
Yeah.
Spring, fall, winter, even in the summertime here it doesn't get that hot. So leather weather is pretty much all the time up here in Canada.
Yeah.
Next question is, what kind of paint do you guys use? And to be completely honest, I'm a acrylic all the way. I buy the cheapest acrylic paint that Michaels has to offer. I think it's these basic ones. They work really, really well and they stay a really long time.
Yeah. Something else we tend to use is Sharpie paint markers. These, seem to stick really well. I've had them on jackets for years and years. And
they take forever to run out. Like these have been going for years. We tend to stick with the oil-based pens as far as these go. I think they only offer oil and water-based, but I just don't think water-based would be a good idea at all. So these are our most used methods of paint. We find that the acrylics and the oil pens, they just stay so well. They're also asking, how do you sew cut out logos from shirts onto other things?
One big tip I'll give you, if you have a sewing machine, before you cut the logo out, lay the shirt flat and sew the front to the back so that it's double thick once you cut it out. Right,
so you're sewing both the back of the shirt and the front of the shirt together, and then it's a double thick layer of fabric.
A heavier fabric is much easier to work with, so if you just sew them together using a sewing machine, or even if you do it by hand, just sew them both together, or after you cut it out you can iron it onto an iron-on patch that you can get at Fabricland. It makes it much easier to work with, and after that you just kind of want to make sure you have it really centered, or else when you go to stud it, it'll be uneven. You'll have 4 or 5 rows on one side and 2 rows on another side.
But if you don't have a sewing machine, I would just suggest safety pins.
Yes.
They are my best friend because I am mostly a hand sewer, so I like to safety pin the patch or piece of fabric that you're cutting out from your shirt. You just pin it all the way across, and feel free to be pretty liberal with the amount of pins that you use. The more pins, the better it's going to stay put while you're sewing it.
Yeah.
As far as cutting them out go, I would give yourself a nice amount of room. I would always measure with a tape, and you can even use chalk to show where your guidelines are, but definitely measuring the spot that you want to put the patch to understand how much extra fabric you're going to want around the logo. So yeah, using chalk works really well because it's very easy to wash out.
Before you leave on, you can always cut more off as you're going if you don't like it, if you think it's too much, but you can't add any back on once you cut there, so make sure you leave yourself an excess amount.
Always go bigger
and
slowly trim down, because then you'll find your perfect size.
Next question are some tips for a beginner.
Hmm.
Yes. So, yeah, with DIY, a little goes a long ways. When I was younger, I had a tendency of having really cool shirts that I liked that didn't fit me very good, and then shirts that I didn't like that did fit me good. So a trick that I've found is you take the shirt that does fit you very well and you kind of slather it in bleach and leave it in the sun for a couple hours and makes it very fizzy. And then you take the shirt that doesn't fit you good, that you like, and you sew it on to the front. Now, you've taken two shirts that you don't like and you made one shirt that you do like. That is pretty simple. You can get it done in a day. All of a sudden, you have a shirt that you really, really like.
Yeah, I also agree. I think for beginners, bleach can be your best friend. It is a very, very easy way to make something look way different and make you stand out.
Yeah.
I've also taken bleach and a old, ratty, crappy paintbrush that you no longer wish to use. And you can even dip your paintbrush in the bleach and actually kind of paint a loose design on your piece of clothing. And therefore you get like a much different look as well.
Yeah. Or buy a cheap pair of pants at a thrift store and bleach splatter those and then add a couple patches.
Mm-hmm.
Paint something on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like paint, things like that can really go a long way. I would say the thrift store is your best friend. Everything cheap, do it on the cheap.
Yeah.
Also, Michaels always offers 50% off, 40% off coupons in their email. So if you need some DIY supplies, I would definitely take advantage of their email coupons because you can get some really good stuff for super cheap. One day I bought like a tie-dye kit that could dye like 50 shirts just so I could have a bunch of different colors of fabric dye to work with, and since I used the coupon it was only like $20, so that made it stretch out a long way. I was able to dye multiple things with this one kit because I had all colors of the rainbow. Once you've customized your clothes in the way that you like, do you continue to maintain them?
Sort of depends. I've noticed with denim I lose lots of studs and I'm constantly replacing them after a crazy show. I check my vest over and I've usually lost quite a few studs and I have to replace them. With leather, I think I've maybe in the last 10 years replaced 10 studs. Whereas with denim I replace sometimes 10 studs per show. So I'd say leather takes a lot less maintenance. And if you sew everything on correctly, shouldn't have to maintain that either. No, not really.
I would say that I definitely do in a sense. I would say that roughly once or probably once a year I usually do a really big pin like overhaul on anything that I'm wearing constantly. Like my most worn pieces, I will kind of think over what I have as far as pins go, easy to kind of take off, and usually swap it over. So I'm still kind of wearing the same piece, but it's like a little bit different, a little bit
updated.
Exactly. So I would say that's definitely kind of like maintaining for sure. But if we do lose studs, then yes, we will put some more in. Sometimes we get lazy and totally forget and just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I think this one would notice a lot more if it was on his and had a big pin or a big stud missing.
Yeah. What are the best products for leather? So, I condition with leather better. I just kind of smother my boots in it and then I blow dry it once it's all on there. And you can get leather.
Yeah, smells good.
You can get leather really, really hot before you burn it or anything like that. So if you're just using a standard blow dryer, you should be able to blow dry it quite a bit, and then it really soaks in, and then wipe all the excess off and really scrub out the white laces. And that seems to really do the trick. I've been wearing the same boots for a lot of years and no issues with that. And then usually every day or sometimes 2 or 3 days I'll give them a little brush with my boot brush, just buff them up a little bit more. And
yeah, he even uses these products for our jackets as well.
yeah.
If there's a dry spot or something like that. I know my Vinyl jackets are so annoying. They're so squeaky. Oh man. I'll just be like moving my body slightly and it'll be like, and you're like, oh god. Just put it on the brush and put a little bit in the armpits and then you're going good.
The creases of the arms.
Yeah, stuff like that. Just the places where you bend. That's it really helps, and it does. I don't know. I guess it probably conditions.
You kind of have to do it after or before each wear.
Yeah.
Literally, but it only takes a second. So quick brush on a vinyl jacket, and you won't squeak all night. So.
But yeah, I guess our best bet is a some kind of leather conditioner, and like Justin said, you can just heat that leather up with a hair dryer, and it'll just soak it all in. Have you had projects that you don't like and end up just scrapping and not completing? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
The one I got furthest along with that I've worn maybe once, maybe 2 times, is this one. I started it, I thought I liked it, but I think it's just a bit too much color for me, weirdly enough.
You just like those black and white ones.
Yeah, so I mean lots of like studs and patches and good bands and everything.
Yeah.
And we put like some secret pockets on the inside and started studding it. And
yeah, and the collar looks really nice.
Yeah. He's like,
I feel like you just kind of fell out of love with it right as soon as it was getting close, and you never really wear it. So.
It's also a blue vest.
Yeah.
I much prefer black. So I have never worn it. I've probably spent 7 or 8 hours on it and still just never wear it.
Yeah, in cases like that, we usually end up dissecting them eventually when we kind of find something else that the patches would look good on.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just end up dying on that project and sitting in the closet, which sucks. Project that I recently got rid of, I guess, or stopped working on was this one here. I kind of had this idea for like a semi pastel themed vest, but I just fell out of love with it as soon as I started like finishing up on it. Honestly, like it has like some goodness to it, but it's just not me really when it boils down to it. I also have a friend named Mackenzie who has a jacket kind of similar to this one, so when I kind of realized how close these were, I just stopped.
Yeah.
So this one, which sucks because it would have been a really good white, stark white vest.
Yeah.
I'm so regretting that for sure, but I don't know, maybe we'll try and remove the paint, but it's probably stained. And you guys ask such amazing questions, and there's so many of them. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, we don't want to half-ass anything, so we're gonna do one more, I guess.
Yep, and
so.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far. I'll leave a thumbs up if you are, so that we know that the DIY thing is going swell. Let me know if we answered your question. Let us know if you have any more.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
That's right. Maybe we'll do another one soon.
Yeah, we love talking about DIY, and we love spilling the tea, spilling our secrets, and letting you guys in. So yeah, let us know. Stay tuned. The next installment should be out anytime soon. And thank you.
Thanks again.
Thanks so much for. Oh, you guys are amazing. So yeah, we will see you guys soon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.